Welcome to Southern Cross Station. Southern Cross is not only a busy station for suburban trains, but its main purpose is a terminus for regional trains, which is what we are talking about in this video. Everything purple on the map, or the diesel unelectrified trains. Not only in this video I'm going to explain where I'm going on my very first V-Line trip, but also how my experience went on the trains. On Friday, 19th of April, my dad and I headed into Southern Cross to catch our train, which is on platform 3. The problem is the destination display. Our train is the 4:52 service to Eagle Hawk, but it shows the train before instead, and the train on the platform says it's going to Eagle Hawk. And that confused us. But when we had a look inside, it said it was going to Eagle Hawk with the time and everything. This is the train we've took to our destination, velocity set 87, shouldn't be hard to remember. And this is the 4:52 train, which is the best one, because it runs express from Footscray to Castlemaine. With the passengers on board, the train begins to depart. Passing by the sidings, we soon begin to ride on the dual gauge tracks next to us. Then onto the flyover near North Melbourne. Passing by South Kensington Station and the western entrance for the upcoming metro tunnel. On another flyover over the Newport lines, where we arrive at our first stop, Footscray. While the next station is an hour and a bit, enjoyed this parallel running with the Siemens train to Sunshine. While the parallel running lasted a solid 4 minutes, we later ran express through Water Gardens at around 100 to 115 kilometers per hour. But the satisfying run was running through Sunbury. Welcome to what I like to call the regional area. I take that back, passing the stations and fields is super satisfying when the train goes up to 160 kilometers per hour, which is the top speed on the velocities. It feels like whenever the train passes a level crossing or a station, it blasts off like, well, a rocket. Obviously I've been on something that's faster than this, other than planes. The fastest train I've been on was the Eurostar from London to Paris 10 years ago. I couldn't help but look at the sky. It's more prettier and scenic the further away from the CBD in my opinion. While the video plays out, let me tell you about my short review on the Velocity. Personally, I think they are pretty good, despite it being a DMU where the motors are underneath each carriage. I believe they are popular and well known since more units are still delivered. Each carriage does have toilets for long distances, say either Bairnsdale or Albury. My real issue is that the seating is sometimes not the best. Unit 87 does have good V-line colours and a little bit cushioning into them. But other units have bad uncomfortable seats, nor a tray table like 87, which I'll discuss later. But the journey and scenery is breathtaking. Seeing fields with cows and hills does make it more relaxing. Once we express through another station, the train meets its first single track. Along the way we cross over the Malmesbury Viaduct. After passing Malmesbury, the train goes into a halt to wait for a Southern Cross-bound train on the passing loop. Next is going through the Elphinstone Tunnel where we finally arrive at our next station, Castlemaine. After going through another tunnel, we arrive at the second last station of this trip, Kangaroo Flat. And finally, after nearly 2 hours, we arrive at Bendigo station at 6:47. Overall being a long trip than I can remember, I still enjoyed most of it. After we hopped off, we checked in our room, went for dinner, and went to bed. The next morning, we went out to get breakfast. While eating, I found some trams heading to and from the gold mines. After that, I bought a certain something from JB. After lunch, we went to the art gallery as an event was taking place called Borju Bendigo. And it was self-explanatory. The gallery has French-style paintings, which they look impressive, but also hilarious and relatable, like the latecomers. Then we headed out for a walk, where I took a photo of the clock tower, and another day done, as we reached the final day. While waiting for our train, I spotted an N-class passenger train heading to Swan Hill. And this is it, set 75, the train that we took back to Southern Cross. Taking a look at the interior, the train has different seating, in which I discussed earlier. I personally think the seats are harder. They have no tray tables, which doesn't help the journey on a Sunday at the time. And that was it. My first V-Line trip to Bendigo.